Have you ever wondered about the differences between wharfs, piers, ports, and quays? It's a question that might seem simple at first glance, but these maritime structures are more distinct than you might think. Each one serves a unique purpose in the grand scheme of maritime activities and architecture. In this exploration, we will unveil the intricacies that set these structures apart. We'll tackle the common confusions and misconceptions and provide a clear understanding of what each term signifies. From the bustling activities that define ports to the serene stillness that often surrounds quays, from the functional simplicity of wharfs to the architectural marvels that are piers, we've got it all covered. So, whether you're a maritime enthusiast, a curious mind, or someone who just loves to learn, this journey is for you. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of maritime architecture and terminology. Scene script. First, let's unravel these terms one by one. We begin with wharfs. A wharf is essentially a structure on the shore of a harbour where ships can dock to load and unload cargo. The term wharf comes from the Old English wherf, meaning bank or shore. These structures have been instrumental in maritime activities since as far back as the Bronze Age, facilitating trade and exploration. Next is the term pier. Piers are structures that project out into bodies of water, often used as docking and fishing areas. The word pier is derived from the Old French perrière, which means stone. From ancient times, piers have been used not just for maritime activities, but also for recreational activities like fishing and strolling. Moving on, we come to ports. Ports are locations on coasts or shores that contain one or more harbours where ships can dock to load and unload cargo and passengers. The term port comes from the Latin portus, meaning door or gateway. Ports have been the lifeblood of civilizations, enabling trade, travel, and cultural exchange. Lastly, we have quays. Quays are solid stone or metal platforms on the shore for loading and unloading ships. The word quay comes from the Old French quai, meaning key, as they were the key to effective maritime trade. Dating back to the Romans, quays have been pivotal in the growth of coastal cities and towns. So in essence, wharfs, piers, ports, and quays are all structures designed to facilitate maritime activities. However, their specific uses, designs, and historical origins vary, making each unique in its own right. From the ancient civilizations to the modern globalized world, these structures have played a vital role in shaping human history, enabling us to cross oceans, trade goods, and connect cultures. Now that we know what each term means, let's compare them. Scene script: wharfs and piers, two terms often used interchangeably, but are they really the same? Let's delve into the world of maritime structures and find out. First, let's talk about wharfs. Wharfs, my friends, are structures built parallel to the shoreline. They extend from the land into the water, providing a docking area for ships and boats. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Wharfs are typically built in commercial areas, playing a crucial role in the shipping and freight industry. You might be familiar with some famous wharfs like the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco or the Circular Quay in Sydney. Now let's jump over to piers. Piers, unlike wharfs, are built perpendicularly to the shoreline. They jut out into the water, forming a T-shape or an L-shape. Piers are generally used for recreational purposes rather than commercial ones. They're a popular spot for fishing, sightseeing, and even amusement parks. Think about the Santa Monica Pier in California or the Brighton Palace Pier in England. Now, it's not just about the structure, but also the function. Wharfs are designed to handle heavy loads and large vessels. They're equipped with cranes and other machinery to facilitate the loading and unloading of goods. Piers, on the other hand, are more about leisure. They're designed to accommodate people, not cargo. You'll often find restaurants, shops, and even fairground rides on piers. So what about usage? Well, wharfs are predominantly used for commercial purposes. They facilitate the transfer of goods and passengers from ships to the shore. Piers, meanwhile, are frequented by tourists and locals alike for recreational activities. They're a place to relax, enjoy the view, and maybe catch a fish or two. As we can see, while they may look similar, wharfs and piers have distinct features and uses. They are both integral parts of our maritime infrastructure, each playing their unique role in our relationship with the sea. Whether it's a bustling wharf handling international trade or a tranquil pier offering a moment of seaside serenity, These structures remind us of our deep connection with the world's waters. Next, we tackle ports and quays, two more terms that often cause confusion. Let's start with ports. A port is a location on a coast or shore containing one or more harbors where ships can dock and transfer people or cargo to or from land. In essence, it's a hub of marine activity, a bustling meeting point for vessels, goods, and people. Ports can be found on any body of water that's sufficiently deep for vessels to navigate, be it an ocean, sea, river, or lake. Now let's look at quays, pronounced keys. These are structures built parallel to the waterline, along the bank or shoreline. Quays are designed for loading and unloading vessels, often with cranes and other mechanisms to facilitate this process. They're essentially the waterfront's workbench, where the heavy lifting of maritime logistics takes place. Now you might be thinking, aren't ports and quays basically the same thing? Well, not quite. While a quay is a physical structure, a port is a location. A port can contain many quays, but a quay can't contain a port. It's a matter of scale and function. Think of a port as a city and a quay as a street within that city. To illustrate, let's look at some famous examples. The port of Shanghai, for instance, is the world's busiest port by cargo tonnage. It encompasses a vast area and contains many quays, each designed to handle different types of cargo. On the other hand, Circular Quay in Sydney, Australia, is a specific location within the larger port of Sydney. It's a hub of ferry activity and also a popular tourist destination, with its iconic view of the Sydney Opera House and the Harbour Bridge. So, while ports and quays both play crucial roles in maritime commerce and transportation, they have distinct functions and structures. Despite their similarities, ports and quays are not interchangeable. Now that we have a better understanding of each term, how do they all compare? Let's dive into the comparison between wharfs, piers, ports, and quays. Each of these structures has a distinct role to play in the maritime world, and understanding their differences can give us a deeper insight into how our oceans and waterways are managed and utilized. Starting with wharfs, these are typically built parallel to the shoreline, providing a platform for loading and unloading vessels. They often form part of a larger port complex, but are distinct in their construction and function. Wharfs are usually built on piles and are robust enough to handle large amounts of cargo and heavy machinery. Piers, on the other hand, are structures that project into the water, often used as a docking or fishing area. Unlike wharfs, piers are not typically used for large-scale cargo operations, but more for leisure activities or smaller-scale maritime operations. They can be a bustling hub of activity, with everything from fishing boats to pleasure cruises docking at their sides. Moving on to ports, these are large facilities that can house multiple wharfs, piers, and other maritime structures. Ports are the beating heart of maritime trade, facilitating the movement of goods and people across the world's oceans. They can include everything from cargo terminals and ship repair facilities to passenger terminals and marinas. Lastly, we have quays. Quays are similar to wharfs in that they provide a platform for loading and unloading vessels. However, they are usually built of solid construction and are located along the bank of a waterway, such as a river or canal. They are ideal for handling bulk cargo such as grains, coal, or other raw materials. In essence, while wharfs, piers, ports, and quays all play a crucial role in maritime activities, they each have their own unique features and functions. Understanding these differences can help us appreciate the complexity and diversity of our maritime infrastructure. Each of these structures plays a unique role in the world of maritime activities. Despite their differences, these terms are often used incorrectly. Let's debunk some common misconceptions. One of the most common errors is the interchangeable use of wharf and pier. It's essential to remember that a wharf is a structure on the shoreline, while a pier extends from the land into the water. So while you might enjoy a lovely walk along a pier, you'll be loading and unloading goods at a wharf. Then there's the confusion between port and quay. A port is a location, a hub of sorts, where ships dock to load and unload cargo or passengers. A quay, on the other hand, is a specific type of wharf built parallel to the water and often used for loading and unloading vessels. So while you might find a quay at a port, not every port will have a quay. Another misconception is that these terms are exclusive to maritime contexts. While they are most commonly used in relation to bodies of water and shipping, they can also refer to structures along rivers and canals. For example, you might find a pier on a river where boats dock, or a quay along a canal for loading goods. One more point of confusion arises when people assume that the size of the structure determines whether it's a wharf, pier, port, or quay. In reality, these terms refer more to the function of the structure rather than its size. A small dock where fishing boats tie up can be a port, while a large, bustling area for commercial shipping could be a wharf. Lastly, while these terms have specific definitions, regional usage can sometimes blur the lines. For instance, what's referred to as a wharf in one area might be called a pier in another. It's always good to keep in mind the local context and usage. Understanding these differences can help us use these terms correctly. In the vast world of maritime architecture, every structure has a purpose and a name. Each term we've discussed today, wharfs, piers, ports, and quays, represents a unique element in the intricate tapestry of our global maritime infrastructure. Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. We've discovered that wharfs, often found in bustling harbors, provide a platform for loading and unloading cargo. They're like the diligent workers of the maritime world, tirelessly supporting the ebb and flow of global commerce. We then explored the world of piers, those elegant structures that reach out into the water, beckoning us to take a leisurely stroll, cast a fishing line, or simply pause and appreciate the beauty of the sea. They're not just functional, they're a testament to our enduring connection with the ocean. But let's not forget about ports, those bustling hubs of activity that facilitate the movement of goods and people across the globe. They're like the beating heart of our maritime world, pumping life into our global economy. And finally, we delved into the world of quays, those sturdy, reliable structures that provide a safe haven for ships to dock, refuel, and undergo essential maintenance. They're the unsung heroes of the maritime world, providing a critical service that keeps our ships sailing smoothly. Understanding the differences between these terms is not just about semantics. It's about appreciating the complexity and beauty of our maritime world. It's about recognizing the vital role each of these structures plays in supporting our global economy, facilitating trade, and connecting people across continents. As we journey through life, we encounter these structures in different contexts, and it's our understanding of their unique roles and functions that enriches our experience. So let's cherish this knowledge and use it to deepen our appreciation of the maritime world around us. With this knowledge in hand, you'll never confuse a wharf with a pier or a port with a quay again. As we come to the end, we hope this journey has been as enlightening for you as it was for us. Our exploration of wharfs, piers, ports, and quays has taken us on a voyage of discovery, unraveling the intricate tapestry of maritime architecture and terminologies. We've delved into the specifics of these structures, their unique characteristics, uses, and the subtle yet significant differences that set them apart. These terms represent more than just physical structures. They are the lifeblood of global commerce, the gateways to exploration, and the silent witnesses to the ebb and flow of human history. They're the starting points of epic voyages, the final destinations of long journeys, and the bustling hubs where cultures converge and intertwine. But remember, this is just the tip of the iceberg. The world of maritime architecture is as vast as the oceans themselves, brimming with other terms and structures waiting to be explored. From dry docks and shipyards to breakwaters and jetties, each has a story to tell. Each a piece of the grand puzzle that is our world's maritime heritage. In our future explorations, we may venture into these lesser-known territories, shedding light on their roles and significance. We might delve into how these structures are designed, how they withstand the relentless onslaught of the sea, or how they've evolved over the centuries to meet the changing needs of society. So we urge you to keep this curiosity alive, to continue this journey of learning. Whether you're an aspiring architect, a history enthusiast, or simply someone fascinated by the world around you, let this newfound knowledge be a springboard for further exploration. The beauty of learning is that it never ends. Each new discovery leads to another. Each question answered opens the door to a new one. And in that spirit of endless discovery, we hope that this exploration of wharfs, piers, ports, and quays has sparked in you a desire to learn more, to delve deeper, to keep exploring. Remember, every journey begins with a single step, or in this case, a single dock. Until next time, keep exploring.